All right, folks, welcome into our YouTube exclusive show called the Shootaround, where we'll usually do some drafts every week, but sometimes maybe we'll do a special quiz. You never know. This week, though, what we're doing is a sports video games draft. Unfortunately, Bean couldn't be with us tonight, so myself and Buzz Allwins are going to hold it down. But I think this should be a pretty sweet draft. We all grew up. If you listen to this, our other podcast, you probably, grew up playing video games, probably a sports fan. So this should be right up your alley. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. So we're going to go head to head, Buzz and I, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Yes.
What's that in the background?
Oh, yeah. I should probably pause my watching the national championship.
Well, you don't have to pause it, but
I mean, mute it.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever you need.
So we're not quite sure. We're going to kind of determine it on the fly. We're either going to do 7 rounds or we'll go the full 10 rounds since Bean isn't here. Originally, we were just going to do 5 rounds, but since we're down a man, we'll bump up our draft picks. So we'll play it by ear, but either way, at the very least, we'll do 7 rounds, just like the NFL draft, and we'll see what happens. So, Buzz, how do we want to determine, pick order?
You just do the coin flip again like you did last time.
All right. I have a real life coin right now.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. And then also I was going to ask, how do you feel about, instead of just doing snake draft, because I can get confusing, do you want to just go every other, like a real draft?
Sure.
Okay. All righty. Got a quarter right here, folks. Going to toss in the air. Sue's got it. What do you want, Buzz? You want heads or tails?
I'll take heads.
It is heads. So you want first or second?
Oh, yeah. First.
First? All right.
Yep.
Like we said, folks, last couple weeks have been doing snake drafts, but I figure with the subject matter we're doing and with just 2 of us, I figure we'll just go normal draft. So you going first overall, Buzz?
Yeah, so I'm making a quick list here so I can write in our picks.
TCU just scored too.
It must be just like a tick in front of me. They look like they're about to score anyways, but it must be just in front of me.
Bam.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But without further ado, so you're first overall. So whenever you're ready, no rush, because we know it's a lot of pressure being first overall. But
yes, I have a very definitive pick for mine. It is NCAA football 14.
You on 14?
14. It was
Okay.
most updated graphics. I mean, that was one of the few games that EA had ever done where once they had a complete monopoly on it, they didn't just completely like shit the bed on it, ruin everything, stop doing good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, the only thing that annoyed me about that game, and maybe it was a couple of years before that, maybe they fixed on that one, but I liked how like when you were doing once you did a dynasty mode, you could have it'd have a trophy case for like your coach. So you could see all the stuff you've won in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the bowls you won, like if you had like Heisman winners, those would show up. Like even just like Bronco University winners, like those would show up. It would show you like the year and all that. So like it had really cool stuff like that. Recruiting was obviously getting better and better, so that was great.
Not to mention, it was the last one that was ever made.
Yeah, but so I was saying that was one of the few games that EA actually like kept climbing the ladder. They didn't just like shit out the same game every year when they finally hit a point. Like we see that with Madden, which we'll get into later, I'm sure, because we'll be picking them soon. But yeah, no, I take NCAA 14 for sure. Great game.
So
I played it
snag.
a couple years ago. I played it. It was really good stuff.
So I'm on the clock now. My first round pick, and I'll tell you right now, I'm going to go Madden, but I can't decide which one I'm going to take. I can either go score some extra points on the graphic, or I can go with my heart. But I just feel like if I go with my heart, that pick will still, score some points on the graphic. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with my heart. I'm going Madden. I'm going the 2005 with Ray Lewis on the cover.
Oh, that was definitely my next pick.
And the reason I'm taking that is because it was one of the first ones that I owned for Xbox 360. I played the absolute shit out of it, and this is what put it over the top for me. First year that they added the hit stick.
Yep.
And when you think about how important that feature is, that's like pretty much synonymous with Madden now. When you think Madden, you think the hit stick. People use it in conversation. It's like a verb, like, oh, I gave him the hit stick, or he just got hit sticked. So That's a video game that kind of transcended just video games. People know that term hit stick, and that's where it came from, was Madden. So I got to take that first overall, Madden 05. Not to mention it's my favorite version. So I'm happy with that one.
That's a great pick. That was gonna be. I didn't think it'd make it around, but I was gonna go back to back football picks and take that one. It also had the Tony Bruno show. I don't know if you remember the Tony Bruno show, but I had that. That was 2004 was the first year that they. If I remember correctly, 04 with Vic was the first year they let you do all the stadium upgrades and like they actually build your stadium and stuff. 2005 kept that added on to it. They added the Tony Bruno show. It made the it was a really good game. Damn, that was gonna be for sure my next one. So that one's gone now. All right, so I'm about to pivot now. I think surprise. Well, I shouldn't say surprising. Just there's a lot of great games left here, but I'm gonna completely pivot though and give us a Tiger Woods PGA Tour 14.
Ooh, that one was pretty high on my list. That's a good pick.
Yes, I like the career mode there. The career mode was still really good then. The career mode was good all the way, and they just got rid of it. But I think that was the last one actually, the Tiger Woods. And like I said, the career mode was good. They actually let you have all four. That was like I think maybe the first time they let you have all four majors like to play in. So it wasn't just like one or two. Like you get to do all of them. You got Augusta, obviously. You got to play that in a couple years coming after that, but still they kept that one in. I played the shit out of that one. That was a great one. And at the time, I never even played golf. Like actually, played golf. So, I think we just started. But we weren't playing much. We played a little bit, but we were awful. We hadn't really played golf, but that made me want to play more, really bad. But yeah, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 14.
Great pick, and much like your NCAA football pick, like you said earlier, that was the last year that Tiger Woods was on it because he ended up getting caught for fucking waitresses and all that stuff. So
yeah,
that was his last one, and then the year after was a different one. But yeah, last Tiger Woods one ever made. So, but now I believe he's signed up with 2K Sports, so now he makes 2K golf video games.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, that was the last ever game and fantastic game. I'm pretty sure that's the cover with Arnold Palmer on the front with him, right? It's like Tiger and Arnold Palmer on the cover together.
I don't actually remember. I thought it was just him.
Pretty sure it is, but
oh yeah, it is. You're right. Yep, it is him. Yeah, it's those two. Oh, is it Arnold? Yeah, it is Arnold Palmer. Yeah. Yep. Good call.
So I'm up next. This will be my second round pick. Once again, I'm torn between which year I want to choose first. One of them is sentimental to me because it was, my favorite one growing up, but the other one I feel like is a better game overall as far as your game experience. But once again, I just got to go with my heart, and it's funny because they're both from the same year, but I'm going to go the 2005 NCAA football with Larry Fitzgerald on the cover when he was at University of Pitt.
Yeah.
I'm taking that one. Like I said, that's early on. It's 2005. That's my sweet spot. That's when I was probably in how old would I be? 7 plus. So I was like 12. So that's right when I was hitting my groove, gaming. So that was like one of my first passions of NCAA football was the 2005 version. That's the year they introduced the home field advantage, where if you're playing at home and you got the momentum, like the screen will start shaking and like they can't do the audibles and stuff like that. So early pioneer in the NCAA football game. So the 2005 version with Larry Fitz. So plus he's a Pitt Panther. So
I mean, you really can't go wrong with any college football games. They're all great. All right.
But like I said, there's another one that I like. I like the gameplay better, but I can draft that later on. But so starting off the third round, Buzz, what do you got for your third round pick?
Oh, I'm once again torn between a few here. I think on this one, I am going to go with I'm going to have to go with Madden 2004 now. That was another amazing soundtrack. Had a lot of good Charlotte and stuff like that. And at the time, something we were all jamming out to. I think it was like 11-ish at the time, 10, 11.
Yeah.
So it was, I remember when that game came out at a small, I don't know, obviously they're all smaller TVs back then for the most part, but I had a little small TV in my room, but we would sit there just like 2 feet from the screen. Me and well, actually our sponsor and a couple kitchen there. We would just sit there and we would play hours and hours because, like I said, just first one you could build your actually build your stadium stuff and do some editing. You set prices, all that cool stuff. That was also back when you still had like career-ending injuries and like when the Madden pretended there wasn't concussions.
And plus, I mean, Michael Vick was a cheat code, so.
Yeah, but with that said, I hardly ever played as the Falcons, so like I didn't get to really. Only time I really ever got to use them was if we were like play people 1-on-1. But like it's pretty much always a rule like you're not allowed to play with the Falcons. It was like the one team you couldn't play as because you know that if anyone was going to play as them, all they would do is run. Like, but that was a great one though, so I'm gonna have to go with that one.
No, I think that's terrific value because when I was talking about my first round pick, the two that I was split between as far as Madden's, like I said, I wanted to either take a pick for the graphic or take one close to my heart. I ended up going with my heart, but Madden 2004 with the Vic cover, I mean that's gonna look great on the graphic, especially you getting it in the third round. That's fantastic value in the third round. So
I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
So it's my pick of the third round, and I feel like this one's going to surprise some people. Probably going to surprise you, Buzz. I'm hoping that you weren't thinking of it, but once again, a pick that I think is going to look great on the graphic, and it's very near and dear to my heart. I'm going backyard baseball.
Damn it! I was literally I'm looking at actually quite literally looking at that graphic right now. Yeah, it says
going backyard baseball.
Jeff got Pablo on the front.
Yep, Pablo.
Yeah, that sucks. That's a great pick. I had that on there, but I really didn't think you were gonna touch that one, so I was saving that one for at least like 5, 6. Like, there's no way he's gonna touch that.
I'm glad I took it now then because
yeah, I still would have gone maybe 1 or 2 more, but it was there.
Yeah, I figured I didn't need to take it too early, but I didn't want to let it slide either because I wanted it on my graphic. It's very important to me, so I'm glad I got it.
I really didn't think you were gonna take that one, but especially early, but I just wasn't too worried about them. But
all right, so that rounds out the third round. Let's kick off the fourth round. What do you got, Buzz, for the fourth round pick?
All right, fourth round pick. I am going to go with possibly, taking away graphics and stuff, obviously, because they're just going to naturally get better over time. Although for the time, the graphics look great. MVP Baseball 2005. No. Manny Ramirez on the front.
That's a great pick. I wanted it.
Yeah, that one. As much as I love backyard baseball, I would have to take this one even before it, simply because it was a huge part. Like, I mean, they both were huge parts of my childhood, but this one, I played this one. This was right at the end of like Little League for me, like towards the end of it. And we would play an insane amount of this during the summers, like especially when we went on our trips for. We go on trips for like the state tournaments or even just like during the district tournaments. We had like a weekend tournament or something somewhere. We would bring, we had 1 or 2 different friends that went with us, or kids on the team that had like more like actual like big campers, just like a little tent or a little pop up. They had like the big, not RVs, but like that style. So they would actually have TVs with them. So we'd always bring the PlayStations and we'd just play that hours and hours of that. We'd always start our like your Dynasty with that. Franchise, whatever it was, play for hours. But that was one where you could start customizing everything again, because that's always like a cool part. You could customize your stadiums, you could customize pricing, all that stuff.
And let's not forget, arguably one of the best, early 2000s, mid 2000s, wherever you want to say it, one of the best sports video game soundtracks of all time. The music on that game was fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's like all the older games, way better. That honestly is like a huge thing that will like propel them in my list, was just the nostalgia of those soundtracks. But this one, I remember this was one of the first times I had heard Tessie, Rocket Murphy's. Huge. I remember after that. I mean, we knew what the only reason why you didn't even heard of it is because some of the families, like I said, that we camped with stuff, were huge Red Sox fans and stuff. So every once in a while you could hear it and stuff, but we didn't really. Wasn't like a big thing to us until like we played this game. And then I remember that every time we watched the Red Sox after that, we'd always correlate that song, obviously. And yeah, it was a great one. But they had the soundtracks, like I said, it's just so different now compared to what they were.
Because they don't want to pay for the rights to get good music there, but
yeah, because they're like, oh, how are we only going to make $25 million in the first 3 months? Like, we want to make 30 million. So. Or not even, probably even play less. You might even need $5 million to get some of these dang songs, but here we are.
Yeah. All right, so another fucking steal, 4th round, great pick there. That was going to be my. I was hoping that would slide to me again because that was going to be my next baseball pick, but that's fair enough. I stole backyard baseball. You
Let's
stole
say
MVP, so
you got to steal
it's
on me, so
about even. So my pick of the 4th round. So the second pick of the 4th round. I'm going to take my first basketball game. This might surprise some people, but this game, once again, very near and dear to my heart. Another 2005 EA Sports video game. I feel like it's slept on. I'm going NCAA March Madness 2005, the one with Emeka Okafor on the cover. I feel like I'm not sure how many people own that game or played it. It was one of my first, NCAA games. It had all the great features that you're used to with NCAA. You got the recruiting, you got the recruiting, you got the tournaments, you got the career mode, everything. It was just a really fucking fun game to play. I loved it. Got the crazy crowd noise, all that stuff. So I could probably have waited and got that later on, but I feel like with how much I loved that game and how much I used to play it, I don't mind taking it in the 4th round. Like I said, I probably could have gotten it later. I don't think that was really on your radar in the first 5 rounds. Maybe it was, but I'm still happy I got it.
I think it's a good pick. The only reason why it wasn't on my radar is because I'm a college hoops kind of guy. I was much bigger into college hoops, which is
it was a college hoops game.
It was the March Madness, not college hoops 2K though.
Oh yeah, no, I never even played any 2K
versions. Those were the tops. I was gonna pick one, but now I know I can kind of wait a minute because it's not gonna be on your radar. I'll not worry about that at the moment.
So you're gonna snag your 5th rounder.
Yeah. So my 5th round pick, I'm gonna go again, kind of hit some different sports here. I'm gonna go Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Dude, I thought I was gonna sneak some by you. Great pick.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's another one that gonna be in all these games. Really, me and the sponsor would have been playing a bunch, and this was another one we played the shit out of. Soundtrack again, great. And yeah, we played this hours and hours, just absolutely getting your guy lit up when you crash on the half pipe all the time. And, we used to play that all the time. It wasn't really as much as like as far as sport game goes, it's like career mode, this and that or whatever. But it was a fun game. We sit, it's one of those ones you just switch off. Play 20 minutes, switch it off to your buddy. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, though, that's one I'm gonna have to go with. The first one was great too, but the second one's where I'm at.
No, that's a great snag. Yeah, I remember thinking like earlier I was doing research for this and I was like, oh, maybe I'll be able to sneak in some Tony Hawk Pro Skaters. But yeah, no, those were awesome. Those, and you ever play, I can't remember the name of it, but there's like a snowboarding game that was similar gameplay, but it was just snowboarding instead of
SSX, something like that. I know that was a good one too. I did see that. I did play it some, but not enough to toss on my list of like top ones, but I did play that, yeah.
Right. All right, so I'm up my 5th round pick. Let's see, where do I go? I think I'm going to do a pick for the graphic. Everybody loved this game. It was groundbreaking as far as the game presentation. You had legit halftime shows, you had legit, wrap-up shows, all that stuff. First of its kind. I got to go NFL 2K5 with T.O. on the cover.
Okay. That sucks. That is definitely one that I've been kind of keeping in the back pocket.
I think that's going to look great on the graphic.
Yep, those were great. I'm going to go ESPN NFL 2K5. Those ones, those games are great. I love that they had like the sideline reporting and all that stuff.
That's why I took it. It was groundbreaking in that sense. Like, by no means is it like a better football game than some of the other games that are still on the board, like as far as gameplay goes. But with how revolutionary it was, and like how much nostalgia everybody's got attached to it, I feel like it's got to go. It deserves to be in the top 5 rounds. So
I mean, they had some cool things. They had, like I said, like not even just the sideline reporting, but like like at halftime they would have like one
Chris
of the players would get interviewed. They had Chris Berman too, which is huge. They do the cut scenes for all like this, like the ESPN stuff.
Oh.
They had the camera, like the first person camera, like in the helmet. I was about to say,
I just remembered it. Yeah, you read my mind. Yep.
Yeah, like I mean, they had a lot about that game. That was really sick. No, that's a great one.
All right, good. I'm glad I grabbed it. So that's the end of our 5th round. So
yeah,
at this point, I'm guessing we'll go the full 10. So
yeah, I think I got enough to do that for sure.
All right, so that caps off the first 5 rounds. So why don't you kick off the second half of this draft here? See if you can break my heart.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. It's probably another one that I don't know if you. I imagine you had played some. But the next one I'm going to go with is Fight Night Round 4. That one was a killer career mode. It was a lot longer too. Just in depth and shit. I personally enjoyed those boxing, like the Fight Night ones, like the how awesome those career modes were, even more than the UFC ones now are like cool and there's better graphics, this and that. But there's something about boxing games that were just cool as fuck.
Dude, absolutely.
It's
I mean,
fun.
props to you. Like, I completely spaced out the Fight Night games, but you're right. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, yeah, I can't remember which Fight Night it was. Maybe it was 4.
That was
but,
the last one. That was like they really, if I remember, I'm pretty
dude,
positive that was when they really revamped the
I used to
legacy
get.
mode or career mode.
I remember above all other games, that game Fight Night was the one that would give me blisters on my fingers because you would be like,
Oh yeah,
all the
Film
combos and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
great game.
what a great pick. I completely forgot about those, but that's a fantastic pick. Those are great games.
I like that for a 6th round for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, great 6th-round pick there. So I'm up. I need a pick here. I'm going to go. I just did football, so I won't go football again. I'm gonna go MLB Slugfest Loaded, the one with Sammy Sosa on the cover.
All right. I like those Slugfest games.
I fucking loved the Slugfest games. You used to be able to punch people while you're running the bases. You had that like superpower power up mode where like when you threw the ball or you hit the ball, it had like the flame on the trail. That yeah, there's just so many little features about that game. It was way ahead of its time. It was released in like 2004 or something like that, 2003. So, I mean, one of my favorite games from childhood. Super fun. You could go on and on about it. Like I said, I probably could have gotten that a little bit later because it sounds like it necessarily wasn't on your radar, but nonetheless, I fucking love that game. So I'm glad I got it.
Yeah. I have a couple similar ones that just in baseball for baseball style too. I just wasn't ready to pick them quite yet, but those were great. All right,
man, we're flying right through these.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great ones.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just some great games out there.
There'd be a lot of good honorable mentions, but all right. So first pick of the 7th round. What do you got, Buzz?
All right, so just want to make sure I'm not taking. Okay, I think this one I am gonna go. Let's see here. It's tough, but I think this one I will go kind of on the same idea what you just were talking about there. I'm gonna do the NFL Blitz.
Oh, that was on my board for sure.
Those were great ones.
Sure.
The arcade version too, but
oh man,
you know, you could play I did and Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, I think was the last one I played on.
Mm-hmm.
Those games definitely, once again, kind of like Slugfest. You just beat the shit out of each other, and it basically it's just, you know, long deep routes after deep routes, just absolutely laying people out. And
yeah,
it was a fun game.
It was a lot like Slugfest. You could just like get in fights with people and like
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a 7th rounder. So what am I going to take here in the 7th round? I think I'll join you with maybe not. I think I'm going to join you with like the arcade style games, back to back here for me. I went Slugfest, then you went Blitz. I'm going to go NFL Street 2, the second one.
Street, okay.
With Jeremy Shockey on the cover.
Yep. I first played those a bunch. I played them, but not a bunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was definitely a favorite of mine. So, got to take it. Go NFL Street 2.
I like it. I mean, I played them for sure. I just didn't play those ones as much. That was a good one though. All right. My next one. There's gonna be a lot of. You know what? I'll just I'll send it. I'm gonna do NBA Jam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an all-time game. Are you talking about like the original one? Obviously the arcade version.
Yeah. I love that game. I mean, it came the same version basically came out for 64 and even PlayStation stuff. It was just so fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that one.
All right.
NBA, yeah.
I'm probably not going to pick this on the graphic. It's going to be an honorable mention, but in the same, actually, no, I'll save it just in case you're going to take it later. Probably won't, but, dude, you're just slamming value. I feel like I'm going to lose this draft, but,
Depends on what people like, I suppose. But
all right, my 8th round pick. Another game near and dear to my heart. Hopefully, other people recognize the greatness that this game was. Another game from the mid 2000s, one of the first ones I owned. Pretty sure I bought this like a year or two after it came out, so I got it on sale. But I've played the following year versions as well, and I feel like this game is a better version than those anyways, so I got a steal on it. I'm going NBA Live 2004, the one with Vince Carter on the cover. I don't know if you own that one or not, Buzz, if you played it.
I never. It was the same way as where you played the NBA Live games. It was like the same
Mhm.
as it was like for the March Madness. Like those two were together, and then I was always playing the 2Ks.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have played them before, but I never like
Mhm.
played them consistently.
Yeah, no, that 2004 with Vince Carter on the cover, it was such a great game, so much fun.
Mhm. Look at it.
There's a couple other versions of NBA Live. You're probably not going to take it, so
No,
the one I was either going to take the Vince Carter one or the year before, NBA Live 03 with Jason Kidd on the cover. That one's pretty famous as well, but I'm happy with 04. I like 04 better. Plus, I was a big Vince Carter fan growing up, so happy with that pick. So 8th round pick is NBA Live 04.
All right.
All right, Buzz. You got 2 more picks left. Let's make them count.
Yeah, I got like 6 more on the list here that I'm looking at. I'm gonna say though for my number 9, just because I'm still holding 1 as a 10, I have to throw in there, but I know you won't take it at this point. But I'm gonna go with Sammy Sosa High Heat Baseball.
I don't think I've ever played it.
Yeah, it was a little more of an obscure game. I almost didn't take it strictly for the like trying to get people to like what are people gonna play more type deal. But I mean,
What year did that come out? Like what
2000.
console?
They had it like late 90s and the early 2000s. They had like 3 or 4 versions, but 2001 was the first year he was like on the video game, I believe. That was like the 3rd installment. But it was just fun. It was one of those other ones where it's not, it wasn't necessarily when you're sitting there playing for a career mode or a franchise dynasty, whatever it may be. It was just fun to play, one-on-one with friends. That was another one. It's definitely a nostalgia one too. I had it for the PlayStation, and I remember summers just sitting there, like because we played it for a couple summers in a row, really. But I remember that's like when it came out that following summer. That was right around the time where we basically just it was a different time back then where even though we were like 8, 9, 10, we were like babysitting ourselves basically. I was like, all right, just don't kill, don't do anything to hurt the house or each other, and you guys are good. We just sit there for just the entire days playing like between this and Maddens and stuff like that. Yeah, it's one of those ones, like I said, you probably won't see a lot of people that are even too familiar with it, but it was a great game.
Alrighty. I'm not gonna lie, I've had
honorable mention, but
I had like I made like a not a spreadsheet, but I guess a spreadsheet is the best way to explain it with like a bunch of games on it. And about half of your games I was able to cross off on that spreadsheet because they're already on there. But you also have 4 picks that I had to write off separately because I didn't even have them on the board, and you took them. So yeah, it's that just goes to show you, like, people play different shit, people think about different shit, and like I said, the fight night pick in particular wasn't even on my radar, but
I'm still pretty salty about the backyard baseball pick. That one, that was one of my favorites. That one, I really didn't think it'd go that early, but I mean, it's deserving to go that early. I just didn't think you in particular were going to take it that early. But
all right, so my 9th round pick, I think, I'm not sure if this game is going to be significant to people or not, but like I said, it's one of my favorite like gameplay games. I played it a lot. Am I gonna do it?
I think I missed your last.
Do it. I'm gonna go NCAA football 2011, one with Tim Tebow on the cover.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, to be fair, I could do the same thing. I could pick 10 straight NCAA football games basically, and I'd be happy with them. So,
Yeah, so that version was the like I said, had Tim Tebow on the cover. It enhanced the dynasty mode. Gave you, there was the first year that they introduced the new graphics system, so there was better graphics. There's on-field referees. There was the first year, I believe, according to the Wikipedia, this was the first year that they had those official ESPN style presentations as far as like halftime and post game and pregame, all that stuff, similar to NFL 2K5 for ESPN. NCAA Football 11 was the first year they had, like I said, the ESPN style commentary. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that pick. Like I said, I'm not sure if everyone, has a connection to that game, but I certainly did. I just remember playing it a lot. And that Tim Tebow cover, the Tim Tebow cover is pretty fucking sick. So,
that's definitely one that sticks in your mind for sure.
Yeah. All right, last pick, Buzz.
Last pick, I'm going to take it now. I could have easily taken this as my number 2-3 pick, honestly, but I didn't think you were going to take it because we've had the conversation before that you didn't play these games really. You were more the March Madness, so that's the only reason why. If it was other people in this, I would have taken it top 2, maybe. Yeah, I top 3 the least, but probably top 2. College Hoops 2K8. These games were absolutely dope. I mean, they were crazy good. They had
I guess I just missed the boat. Who was the cover on that?
Oh, these are great. This one was Greg Oden was the last one, 2K8.
Okay, Ohio
I think
State,
2K7 would have been JJ Redick the year before, and that was a great one too. But 2K8 was Greg Oden on the front. It was, the recruiting was crazy good. It was just so fun to recruit. I'd always start. They had the 2 different modes where it was like you could do your dynasty mode, or you could do like a coaching or like a career mode, which was like you are a coach. Yeah, and it's still the same exact thing basically as dynasty mode, but the only difference is you have to start with a lower level team, and you can't lose your job. You can keep it, whatever, but as long as you're decent, you can keep it. But always, I found a little hack on it. It was actually accidental. I was trying to edit like 2 guys on a lower team to make them just a little bit better. Like I was like, I'll make a guy really good at 3, and one guy that could just like game it all the time. Inadvertently, somehow, some way, the team I picked, I remember still, is Norfolk State was the team I was trying to make just a little bit better. Because they were one of the teams you could pick, and I just like their at the time I was like, I like their mascot, their stadium, this and that, because it gave you like how many their seatings, this and that, or like other capacity. I mean, for the stadium. And somehow it just worked out that I made them too good. So when I went to go back in after saving that roster, they were off, and they replaced them with Maine. So I knew after that, every time I could play as Maine Black Bears. And I thought that was cool as hell to do them for the coaching. So that was fun as hell. They had the weekly wrap-up shows, and the wrap-up shows every week would show the top scorers or around the league, and the top performers and stuff, and it would actually have clips. It would show little clips of a simulated game they'd put together for whoever did it. So you'd they would show you them actually playing. If they didn't show they were actually playing the team that they were listed as playing that game. It'd show they scored this many points this game, and it'd show highlights from them. They do that multiple players every week, and it'd always be different. No matter what team it was, it could be a good team, bad team. If they had a good week, they show it. So it was super in depth like that. They had the what do you call it, wow, why am I blanking on the name? It's like the March Madness, the seating show, basically, where they show you all the seating, where everyone's ranked and stuff. But they would do it with for the March Madness tournament, but they would do it in the sense of you would get to see again, they would show you clips from the year, and they would show you, their strength of schedule and why they're in the brackets, everything. It was so good. That show was awesome. I mean that game was awesome. Again, it's easily a top 2-3 of favor of mine all time, right there with college football. But I just knew I could take it last because I knew you didn't play it. So, great game. I'm very happy to have that as a 10.
No, yeah, that's a good pick. Like I said, I never played it, but I'm sure a lot of people out there did. So,
yeah, it was wonderful.
Plus, if it's close to your heart, it sounds like it is. It's good that you got it on a graphic. So,
yeah, exactly.
All right, so my last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, or they irrelevant, if you're trying to be PC.
Nice.
Zim irrelevant. No, so
keep it going, yeah.
I can do this all night. So last game I wanted on my graphic. There's a few more that I would also like to have on my graphic, but I just got to have this one because it crossed my mind when I was doing my research, and it brought all the good memories back. once again, not sure how popular it was, but very similar game to NFL Street. I'm going to go NBA Street Volume 2.
Mhm.
That was the game where you'd make 3-on-3 teams, and like I said, similar to NFL Street, you got like those crazy power-ups. You could catch fire. It's just a very entertaining game. Like I said, if you're a type of person that doesn't like the kind of arcade version of games, like Slugfest or Street or whatever, probably wasn't for you, but it was definitely for me. I had a fucking blast playing it, so needed to have it on my graphics. So I'm happy taking it around 10. That's fine with me. So.
That's great. Nothing wrong.
But, yeah, that rounds out the 10th round. I feel like we both had some great drafts. I'm gonna have fun putting this graphic together. It's gonna be good to see all these covers again. But how do you feel about your draft, Buzz?
I absolutely love my draft. I love it a lot. There's a few games I really couldn't like remember. Like there's a couple games I have like these memories of. I'm just trying to remember exactly what they were. And I just couldn't pull them together because we talked about this.
Yeah.
I was still at work. I was just getting home from work. Like didn't have much time to really go deep into it, but
real quick for the people, why don't you just run through real quick your 1 through 10 picks, and then I'll do mine.
All right. Yep. Number 1, I took NCAA 14. Number 2, I took Tiger Woods PGA Tour 14. Number 3, I took Madden 2004. Number 4, I took MVP Baseball 2005. Number 5, I took Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Number 6, I took Fight Night Round 4. At 7, I had NFL Blitz. 8 was NBA Jam. 9 was Sammy Sosa High Heat Baseball. And 10 was College Hoops 2K8.
Very good draft. Very good draft.
I'm excited about it.
My draft, my first round pick, I did Madden 2005 with Ray Lewis on the cover. So I said near and dear to my heart. Second round pick, another 2005 game on NCAA football 2005 with Larry Fitzgerald on the cover. Round 3, I went backyard baseball. That might be the pick of the draft. Some people are saying. If
it's out there.
Once I post this, I wouldn't be surprised if Bangor Daily wrote an article like, "Hey, did you guys see that kid take backyard baseball round 3? What a steal!"
Yeah. I think we'll see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another one under the radar. We'll see if this might sink my draft. I might lose the public poll to you for this pick, but like I said, still love this game. NCAA 2005 March Madness with Emeka Okafor on the cover. That's my round 4 pick. 5th round pick, I might have bounced back here. I got the NFL 2K5 with T.O. on the cover. Legendary game. Round 6, I went MLB Slugfest Loaded with Sammy Sosa on the cover. Round 7, I went NFL Street 2. So not the original one, but the second one. That was my 7th round pick. Round 8, I went NBA Live 2004 with Vince Carter on the cover. Round 9, I went NCAA Football 2011 with Tim Tebow because unlike Buzz, I'm a man of the book, the good book, the Bible. So needed to have Tim Tebow on there. When's the last time you went to church, Buzz? Probably never.
Not once.
I go to the Church of Timothy Tebow. And round 10, I went NBA Street Volume 2, which I'm pretty happy with. So I feel like pretty strong drafts both ways. It's going to be interesting to see the public opinion on these, but good shit either way. But you want to go some honorable mentions here? We'll take turns.
Yeah, I got about 6 on here. I just thought of one too. Also, just a quick comment. It'll probably come up in the honorable mentions, but if I'm reading this right, what was your 8th pick? Actually, that was the one I missed. I know you just said it again. That was
my 8th round pick.
Yeah,
it was NBA Live 04, Vince Carter.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So, which is, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're great games, which for whatever reason we ended up not going with them. But there wasn't a single NBA 2K game or FIFA game taken.
Yeah, no, they're on my list. I was gonna take NBA 2K. I had NBA 2K13 as my number 1 ranked NBA game, but I feel like it doesn't like really look great on the graphic, and it might be people might be like, meh. I felt like the Vince Carter graphic or would look better. But no, for sure. NBA, like I said, NBA 2K13 specifically was the top basketball game for me. My sophomore year at college, me and all my friends on the football team, we all pretty much lived in the same dorm, and so I've played hours and hours. At this point, it was probably days worth of NBA 2K13. That was a great game. So yeah, no, that's a good call. And like I said, FIFA, I had FIFA 15 just because I was looking through the video game covers, like the box covers. And I remember that FIFA 15 I played a shit ton of, but you and I, Buzz, also played plenty of I believe it was FIFA 21, the first one that had Mbappe. But
yeah, we played a lot of that, and for 2K, I mean, honestly, there's been great ones. 2K11 with Michael Jordan on the front was great. Remember that was like our senior year, I believe. But the most recent ones are really, really good. I mean,
they're fantastic.
I mean, especially in like the career like the career modes are pretty awesome in the sense of that they have like like you're out in like it's kind of a little bit like an open world concept. Like, you get to go out and run around
Right.
like the neighborhood stuff and do all that stuff. There's some really cool things. I mean, yes, you could argue, does it offer more than like NFL Blitz or NBA Jam, which I picked this and that? Like, sure, but it wasn't the nostalgia, and the reasons I picked it were different. Not just for strictly, the better, career mode, just and that. But yeah, no, I thought it was pretty crazy. We didn't neither one picked one, but
I have a couple too. This is a weird one because I almost took it in like the second or third round. So it's weird that it could have either been like a top 5 round draft pick, but it went undrafted. But Madden 06 with McNabb, we've talked about it before, but that was the first year you could do like the superstar mode. That was the year that
one
you
I
could,
had
like,
on my mention.
you could like pick your parents' like pedigree, and you could go on like the Tony Bruno or was it Jim Rome? But you could go on like the radio show
at that point, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe still, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But that was a really,
Like
really good one. I forgot
like you
honestly how
had-
sick that superstar mode was. I had it written down too. That was like the superstar mode, but
Right, and then you had like you went from an apartment to like a mansion, like in the
Yeah.
It was just a groundbreaking great game.
might have deserved to be on there. Now I'm thinking about it a little bit more, probably over like a Sammy
Yeah.
Sosa. I mean, I love that game, but probably over that. But
Yeah, I probably should have taken that in the 9th round over that 2011 NCAA football one, but I felt like I already had Madden and like the NFL 2K5, so I wasn't sure if But nonetheless, great game. And then another one, I almost threw it on my my 10th round pick, but I was going to give a shout out to MLB The Show, 2017 with Ken Griffey on the cover. That was the first one I had ever played. Like I'd never really played them before that, but Buzz, you introduced me to that game, and I quickly got addicted. That was the first year that you and I, started doing franchises, which is one of my favorite hobbies, is raging on those. So, that almost made the list too, the show. But
yeah, I had the show for honorable mentions. 2022, just the most recent one. I did have quite a bit of fun with that, but one of the reasons why I didn't go with this one again, it came down like I didn't have time for research, and I would have put it in the top if I could have found out for sure the years. I believe it was MLB. I know MLB 06, I'm pretty sure was definitely like this. The show, that one, that was with David Ortiz on the cover. But that was back when the show, the franchise was way more in depth in the sense of it is still a pretty in depth franchise now. But I mean, it was kind of like with the Madden in 04-05 when they introduced it. Like stadium stuff, but you could do like pricing for stuff, but you could update. Like you started out, your team would have like you would start out with just coach buses basically, and you could upgrade to like a team bus and then like a team private jet eventually, and they would have TV contracts. They would have all that kind of stuff. So you could do like regional, and if you got once your team did better, you get national contracts, and they all actually like affected your budget, and your budget would actually go up and down. Unlike the new games, something you don't really get to like have increase your budget. You can win a bunch of. You win 10 World Series in a row, and you still have like a shit budget if you start with a lower team, like a lower budget team. When like those games weren't like that, you could upgrade all that. That was one. I also had for just staying on the baseball real quick. MLB, the one that's sticking in my head is 2K6 with Derek Jeter on the front.
I had that. I had 2K6, and I was about to give a shout out to 2K5. I had 2K5 on my list because that's the one I own, but 2K6 is pretty much the same thing. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I just remember like the small things, like you would tap X to get the extra speed, like trying to run, but you could you railroad the catchers, which was cool as hell. That was also, if I remember correctly, the reason why another 2K6 reason I liked was it's I remember I always just absolutely loved the intro, like how you start up the game like you had like a little intro like scene thing or whatever, like every time you started up, and that was like I hope I don't butcher this. I want to say it was Lou Gehrig, like to consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Oh yeah, the whole speech.
Yeah. I used to like, I don't know what it was. That shit would give me chills back then playing that. Maybe like, and I was obsessed with baseball this time in life. So I mean, that was awesome. So I mean, that easily could have been there. But yes, I got a few more, but I'll let you go with a couple real quick for any more honorable mention.
Yeah, no, the next one I was going to mention for honorable mention was MLB 2K5. So you read my mind there. Another one that's kind of out of left field, but again, close to my heart. It was the first ever Madden I owned, I believe. Madden 2002 with Dante Culpepper on the front. That was the first year, I believe, that they introduced like the different practice drills. Like you do like the coffin corner punts. And
I
you did
think
like the
was that
like-
too. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you're right because 2003 would have been the Marshall Falk, right?
that's Marshall Falk. Yeah.
Okay. So I know you could do it in that one. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and another banger of a soundtrack, Madden 2002. Another great soundtrack. Like I said, it's close to my heart, so had to snag that one, or at least put on my honorable mention. And then you mentioned the golf games earlier, but I loved Rory McIlroy. So it was the last game that I believe the last golf game EA made. It was the only year Rory, had a cover. It was a year after Tiger Woods lost the cover, but yeah, Rory McIlroy. PGA Tour 2015. That was a good game, but that pretty much rounds it out. I mean, got a couple of randoms, like a couple other NCAA footballs, but whatever. So
yeah, I have. I don't know if you ever played Tech Mobile way back in the day.
not really. No.
Tech Mobile, yeah, I played that a little bit here and there at some friends' places. I did the show. Another one that I had forgot about. This one that I said I couldn't think of the name, and then I looked it up. I finally figured it out. NBA Ballers. I don't know if you ever played that one. It was kind of like a spinoff. You remember the and one games they had? I don't know if you ever played those either, but it's kind of like a spinoff of that in a sense. But it was like they had the rags to riches career mode where you would start out. You're just like a ball. Like you're just a street baller. That's all you are. But you get to like every time you win, you get money, so you get to upgrade your guys like his clothes, and you get jewelry, so you get to be like have these huge chains on, like you can, upgrade just a whole bunch of stuff like that as you go on. Me and a buddy haven't played that a shit ton. That was another one, and the one I'm trying to remember the exact name of it because I don't think it was Technical. I'm thinking of it was an old another old football game played on the regular Nintendo. I mean, very very basic. You wouldn't even. It looked like shit off. So it's like you were like it was an aerial view, and there was like 11 like blobs on one side, 11 on the other, and they all stay in a tight formation, and you just like run up and down the field, like made the same sound every time you took steps. And it wasn't like really that great of a game, but I just played it so much when I was like, I mean, I still remember like being like 5, 6, 7. Like I don't remember the exact age, but I just remember being super young. But I have very distinct memories of that game. Playing with my grandpa all the time and stuff. That was a fun one.
Yeah. Well, I think we had a pretty successful draft. There's pretty much exhaust my list of honorable mentions, but yeah, I think this is a good draft. It's productive, quick one, but it'll be good. Be a good quick listen for people or watch, however you want to say it. But
yeah.
So you feel good about your draft?
Oh, I absolutely love my draft. Yeah. I absolutely love it. The only one, like I said, is maybe now I'm thinking back on it, maybe I would have switched out. Sammy says I hate baseball games and nostalgia ones. Maybe I would have thrown on like the NBA Ballers because now I could think about that. Yeah. If I could remember the show for sure with all that stuff, I think it was 06. That one's a great one. But I'm happy overall. I can't complain at all.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm looking forward to making this graphic. I think it's going to look cool. But
yeah, for sure.
We'll get out of here. Make sure you check out the Beer Money podcast as well. But thanks for listening, and see everybody next week.
Toodaloo, motherfuckers.